Poetry Cafe, feeding your mind, your body, and your soul.
So welcome to the Poetry Cafe, the inaugural, you know what I'm saying, pop off. In the studio, we got my man Justin the Beloved.
What up?
And Benji the Cinco in the building to discuss some topics, talk about this love, life, art, and what it is. But we're gonna start this thing off with Mr. Natural Curly Hair, make you stop and stare himself. Bring us in with a little something for the people. Check them out, y'all. Poetry Cafe, my man Benji Cinco. Let's go.
I met this girl when I was 21 years old. And what I love most, she had so much soul. She stood about 5'5" and made everybody stare, but what made me stop and stare was her natural curly hair. See, her mocha brown skin had me dazed, man. It wasn't fair. It was a perfect kind of moment. One of those she had to be there. She was badder than the baddest, put her behind an attention. I went to approach her, but she stopped me in my tracks and said, I know about you, Benji Cinco. See, I ain't having that. You be chasing accessible girls, then fiddle with their pearls and dump on them as soon as they catch feelings, killing their world. Frontin' like you the man, but I laugh. It's sure folly. By this time, I'm sure y'all know I'm feeling kind of salty. She said, I need a man that can show me that he is stable. I got myself together. What can you bring to the table, huh? She ain't the type to hang out all night to party hardy and drink Bacardi, and next morning she can't recall it. Nah. She working hard to put in first things first. Putting Andy Grants and Franks up at an MK purse, and she throw the 10th up in the plate on Sunday morning because she knows without a source, there's no resource. She's waiting on him, so hundredfold. And you never seen the type because she the one to break the mold. Silver and gold is nothing to her. Brothers that seek a finder, she calls, better pick up or don't bother. Just get behind her, don't play, because she don't need you no way. You better listen and pay attention to me because I'm trying to kick some knowledge, see. The cycle keeps flowing, yeah, it's something like a cipher. You want to take her to mama and holler, I'm about to wife her. She's more beautiful than the Mona Lisa. She got her own things, homie, she don't need you. She said, you never catch me twerking or popping it for the realest. My worth is better than silver, gold, honors, and riches. She called me little boy and kept it moving like my existence was non-existent. But what could I do? And she was spitting truth. See, honor ain't fitting fools. But I'm trying to feast on the honey for what it's worth. I'm knowledge hungry, listen, boo. See, I ain't distant, I just been through. And pain's got me kind of cautious, so tying knots is what it do. But I told her, your beauty's epic, you're smarter, wiser than average. I see that you know your worth and end up dealing with baggage in me. I'll make it worse. As a team, we'll make it work. See, a queen deserves marriage, a king can only have it. See, you know about me, I'm just trying to get to know you. I mean, I ain't always been this way, just give me your chance to show that you're more beautiful than the Mona Lisa. I like your style, girl, I'm only trying to reach you.
Hey! Poetry Cafe, Benji Cinco in the building. So I wanted to start that off that way because we had an opportunity to break some bread in the ATL.
Yeah, we did.
Some time ago for the Smurf Blue House on the hill.
Oh no, it was the pre-wedding Freaknik.
Pre-wedding, it's crackers and cheese.
The cold
part. Cephas, you ain't partied like that in your life.
You're right. I have not, and I will not have to do it again. But with that being said, Benji, you know, you got married. Benji got married, and y'all living in this bliss. So I guess let's start with how does the art, you know what I'm saying, mesh with this co-ed living space called marriage at this point in your life?
Well, I call my wife my purpose partner. So that's I like the growth of the whole thing. How you feeling about it?
So I feel like everything ends up becoming a balance when we start trying to introduce whatever the part, whether it's the art, right. our passions, our hobbies, the shows I like to watch by myself, whatever. It's a balance and trying to figure out what actually works, what fits for us. Do I need this, adjust this time that I do this thing, but. Yeah, I for me, it is balanced well. It's good. Well. At the moment, I've recently learned that if something changes, it might not be balanced no more. But right at the moment, it's balanced. We're good.
And I mentioned this at the show that you all were at, the last show that we had at the Poetry Cafe, the last live show. And the topic came up of this brotherly love thing, and we've been having this conversation, you know, off air, sporadically since.
See, for I want to hijack your show, but I'm not going to let you just muddle over. What happened was we had a group text. He's like, nah, stuff was getting thrown around, and we had to just have a conversation.
Really happened.
No, what happened was we had a group text for the groomsmen. I was like, I enjoyed y'all. Y'all be good, boys. I love y'all. Whatever. It's like, yeah, man, we love you too. Love you too. See, it's like, all right.
Yeah.
Y'all be good. Sir, hey, Cephas, I said I love you. Yeah, man. Assalamu alaikum. All right, we need this. Cephas,
Okay, well, rewind. First of all, I had spent an entire weekend with these dudes in Atlanta for co-ed / bachelorette.
Bro, it went up. It was great. Had a great time.
Yeah. And there was a whole lot of the L words being thrown around to the same sex, and I just wasn't sure if I was in the right place. You know what I'm saying? And I had to realize maybe it's my immaturity and my, you know, my lack of vulnerability, for lack of a better word. You know, 'cause every time you all said it, I felt a kind of way.
That's interesting.
Like I was a little uncomfortable. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not sure why.
But Cephas, I appreciate you for recognizing that, because people feel feelings all the time. It's the ability to self-reflect, and even if you don't have the answers, to be able to say, hey, I got something going on. I don't actually have the answers, but I do want to have the answers to this. I want to explore, hence why you brought up the idea of having this conversation, because you said you didn't have the answer, but you knew you weren't as comfortable with saying I love you to guys you would call a brother, but you could not necessarily say why. You don't think it was a good thing that you didn't say.
It was blatantly obvious that weekend that I had a problem. And I was like, what is it? It was a block.
So since then, have you done any digging to figure out why you felt that way?
No, not any deep digging. I haven't been to a therapist or anything of that nature, if that's what y'all are asking. But I mean, I did recognize that it was an issue. But more importantly, I was curious how to get to the bottom of it. But more importantly, curious as to why or how you all felt so comfortable doing it. Like, was it is it upbringing, something that you all started in your friend group, or was it prior to that?
Go ahead.
I am terrible with time reference. So I'm in that regard.
Cue the montage.
Terrible. Something could have been 10 years ago, or it could have been yesterday. I don't know how people know. Like in 1995, in the summer of '95, I used to wear blue shoes.
Right.
Real wild.
I can't do that. It's a reflection of the friend group I have. My wife has said it before. I've said it. We appreciate the friends and the people that I have in my circle. You included in this, people in this room,
right?
Are upstanding men that are, you know, good role models, good fathers, aren't just carry themselves, you know, with a certain amount of character. We also are, for the most part, communicative. We are more or less open-minded. I think you found a spot where you see that you wanted some growth in terms of, you know, emotional space and being okay with that regard. But there are so many areas where we collectively are just, we talk business all the time. Any conversation I have with you, everybody can't say that they have a friend group in, you know, where that's what they're talking about. They might not, you know, just be talking about nonsense.
Right.
So there's quality all around, and everybody brings that. I don't know who's the first person or when we started bringing that in there, but I know this is a thing I've been working on in terms of being mindful about stuff, about my feelings, about being purposeful with my words. I've been learning a lot of things in the past, like 2 years.
Right.
So I don't know. I just know my people are open-minded, moving forward, always wanting to uplift each other, and yeah, I don't know. It only seems right. I know Havoc always loves to pass loves around. He is very big on, brother, I wanted to call you. I wanted to tell you I'm proud of you. I wanted to tell you I love you. That's it. Get off. Bye. That's it.
It's important. I think Pastor actually got me doing that. 'Cause like whenever I first started going to church heavy, the way I was when I was like 18, 17, 18, I had been around, you know, Pastor Frazier and you know, our pastor and everybody I would come in contact with would say I love you during a, you know, departure or whatever. But it was also a matter of allowing people to, you know, to love me. So back then, I couldn't really receive it the way I do now.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Makes sense.
Because in my mind, you got to prove it to me, or else, you know,
It's just lip service.
You know what I'm saying? As I grew older,
That's a good point. So there were examples.
yeah,
So I think the community and the examples you had in your surroundings allowed you to adapt those same principles and those same habits, right?
Yeah.
So I think for me, in this moment, I was realizing that I think even with maybe my father, you know, in our circles, like that's something that we didn't say on a consistent basis. So without there being role models
That
in my
reinforce.
cipher that reinforced that or had that habit that I learned, then I think that's part of the process. So I think this is very new for me. So something new for you, and you're in a new circle, new environment, whether it's Spanish or German or whatever. You be like,
is new.
wait a
So
minute.
in reflecting on it, I not that my father was at the. I want to improve on what he did for me, but he was definitely still emotionally communicative. He was okay with showing his emotions. He was okay. Both him and my mother telling me, you know, I love you. It did not feel uncomfortable to me to have affection from a man in a non-romantic sense to express it that way. So I think I've never had a superior aversion to it, and then as I'm working to just be more open and expressive and stuff like that, it was just a natural step. And of course, social media helped with that, where they point out these things of, you know, what toxic masculinity, are you okay with doing these things? I'm like, why don't I say, you know, I love you to my brother? You know, when a question is posed to me, I am good about.
in this moment, I think I have daddy issues.
You might. You might. But when I was you know, speaking back as a kid or whatever, I would chase that because I don't think me and my dad started saying I love you till like a few years ago.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And you know, due to circumstances, he wasn't you know there in those important years of my life or whatever.
Right.
Not to bash him or anything.
Yeah.
But,
You're just stating the facts.
Yeah. But I remember chasing that, like chasing those things that I wasn't getting. I wanted them so bad, but didn't really know what I wanted, if that makes sense. Definitely didn't know what I needed at the time. A lot of men had come into my life, but they were, you know, inconsistent.
Right.
So when I would get to the point where I'm like, yo, word, this guy's going to be there, that guy's going to be there, or whatever, like, it's gone.
Right.
So now that I'm older, it's like I do want to give off, give that type of communication, emotional communication, as necessary and as much as possible.
Right.
You want to spread the love you didn't get.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
I feel that. Let me know when you're ready for my question.
I bet. All right. Okay. Cool. I'm ready for your question.
Dope.
Go
So, how often you and your father talk? You got it. Your daddy, cool.
Yeah,
that's
talk
a
every
cool
day.
man.
Talk to my dad pretty much every day.
When you talk to him and see him, how often do you all express the words "I love you"?
We talked about it since the Atlanta thing. Like we talked about it. We don't hug a lot.
Interesting.
And my daughter the other day was like, tell Papa that you love him. And so we it's awkward. It was really
Interesting.
awkward. So I'd be like,
What did he say about it when you asked him the question?
we haven't talked about it. It hasn't been a clear communication conversation. We both know it's a little awkward. He's getting better, as am I. But being around you all really, really, really like forced me to look at it and be like, man, this is a little uncomfortable.
When's Father's Day?
This is a positive thing.
It's
Father's Day is in
June,
June.
That's your episode for June. Get that. That's your interview. You and that man go.
That's your goal.
Yeah,
That's your
what
goal.
what you talking about?
Y'all
I'm tuning in for that.
Hug your father.
I'm
and tell
tuning-
him I love you.
I'm tuning in for that, sir.
Yeah.
As you can see in the Portrait Cafe, we're feeding your mind and your body and your soul.
I said, don't forget the soul.
Yeah, don't forget the soul. Don't forget the soul. So again, I'm in studio with the one and only Benji Cinco, my man Justin the Beloved.
It's your boy. You see it.
Yeah, just holding you down, having some conversations. And so I'm gonna wrap in a minute because we how do I see the time on this thing?
You trying to run away from this conversation
that's what
because
he
I'm
sounds like.
I'm
That's
curious
what it
about that.
sounds
Yeah,
like. I'm trying to hear
he
this.
started fidgeting all this stuff because we got time.
There's 16. My reading's right there.
We didn't even
We're
scratch the
16.
surface yet, man.
Yeah. I mean, we scratching surfaces.
That's hilarious. This
We
is
learned about some issues.
so. Did y'all accomplish the hug? And
We did it.
Mm-hmm.
We can do it. But I mean, it's definitely awkward. Like
That's so
it's
interesting.
not like a smooth, comfortable for me. I speak for me personally. I can't say how he feels about it, but it's definitely not. Yeah, it's not. It's not. So my question moving forward to you all is advice, right? And not just for me, 'cause I'm sure other brothers out there are feeling the same thing on how to create more secure circles of male friends. I saw something the other day on the Instagram TikTok, and it was saying how men are looking for intimacy, and the only way that we've been shown how to experience that level of intimacy is through sex, right? But like we are looking for so much more, and because we can't find these other areas, that's the thing that the society allows us to run to easily. But we would love a conversation, you know what I'm saying, or a hug, or somebody to support, you know what I'm saying, somebody to support us. And I was like, man, that
could be a whole podcast episode. You give. I'm gonna make a note for that because I personally remember. Now that I'm able to self-reflect and think about stuff and analyze my feelings, I was I would confuse my desire for intimacy with a desire for sex for a lot of part.
Because men can't say like,
That's been-
"Girl, just hold me." You know what I'm saying? You be a big spoon tonight. Like that's not manly. You know,
Yeah.
a lot of times we do want just the attention and the energy that comes with that. And a lot of times that stuff is satisfying. Somebody to rub your head, I'll be like.
Yo, everything's been sexualized at the point you can't do it, sir. You can't.
Oh no, you can't sleep. You can't sleep stomach down.
Nah,
You can't sleep stomach down. Not being a real man.
I can't walk around the house in a t-shirt and boxes. Apparently,
I don't know
it's
anything
crazy.
about that.
So-
y'all taking it way too far.
It's just
You said
as far.
advice.
Okay, great. Yeah.
So you said advice, specifically for just expounding, I guess, on your emotional sharing or in that cultivating that space.
Okay.
You have to have a circle or some people around you that are okay with that. So if you start trying to talk with your closest circle, your two best friends or whatever,
Right.
hey bro, I love y'all. Be safe out there. Hey man, don't say that. Don't stop being weird.
Yeah,
You got to be around people that are going to encourage it and not try to shoot you down for expressing. There's nothing wrong with you telling this man, say look at this, but hey, I love you, black man. Like there's nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with it, but I think. So what I do want to say before we close things out, I want to say thank you first of all, and applaud you all for being the men that you are, because it's definitely shown me a different side, right? And it's given me some examples of how to, move forward and attack the places where I could be a little bit more sentimental, emotional, and vulnerable. You know what I'm saying? So I will say, live here. Which camera am I looking at?
Yeah.
One of the cameras.
It's okay.
That I love you, and I appreciate you all welcoming me into that space. I mean, there's like a decade between us. I'm pretty sure I'm a big brother. in the
I'm the
circle.
It's all right, but you have so many childish ways, Cephas, so it keeps you young.
Obviously, I do.
Young at heart.
Obviously, I do. But yeah, I definitely appreciate it. I mean, being in circle with you and Havoc and I Shine. I mean, I've been around Shine for a minute, but never in that type of intimate space. And so it was different. It was eye opening. We had a great weekend. Yeah. There wasn't any sex or a whole bunch of that. What was my?
But let me tell you something. This is Cephas was getting on me because I had such a bland bachelor party.
This man wanted to do some
Anytime me and my boys gather and we get up, the only thing we care about, we don't need to spend no money. If we sit in this house, we could eat some pizza and just chop shop with my boys. And I don't get to see these men no more. I just want to sit down, talk. We play some games, get on the video games, cards, whatever, and have a ball.
It was a very
we had a ball.
Bachelor party.
We had a ball.
Cause that's our celebration, like you know what I'm saying. Getting up, everybody got.
So
we had a ball. You need to get more comfortable. You said you got to step.
Nah. Justin be pushing it. Justin
obviously he is.
Justin will purposely make a situation uncomfortable.
You got to push things for growth. Right. It's the only way you can grow.
All right, what I do want to do before we get out of here is I do want you to do one more joint for us, and I want to see how it sounds with some keys.
Let's go.
With something.
Can I say this real quick?
Yeah, you can.
What really helped me be more comfortable with saying it with y'all is knowing that y'all got my back. Like we done been through enough things where it's like, yo, I know these fellas got me.
Right. Even
before this whole thing, new stage, whatever. We had been friends, but I couldn't accept it because. Number one, I haven't yet forgiven myself for a whole lot of things. The child ain't got nothing to do with it. So I definitely had to, forgive myself. And I had to allow the people around me who say they love me to actually love me. You know what I'm saying? So, for anybody who's listening, just, forgive yourself, number one. And number two, allow the people around you to accept you. A lot of people around you to love you. If you can't do that, man, you definitely gonna have a hard time expressing how you feel for somebody else. Everything is gonna be an offense.
Right. Yeah. This is Porch Cafe is gonna keep giving it to y'all. Artistically,
take that.
Intellectually, because we are here to feed your mind, your body, and your soul, y'all. So let's get one more joint from Midgie Seco on the way out. And Jay's in the building. She'll give us some vocals in a second. She's like, I don't know what I walked into, but you hear. You hear now.
Keep that going right there. Check. Look, yo. First off, I hope they see you and not me. I see they dissing about you but disagree. How could it be I intercede to bring a little more than the eye can see? I can see they wanted but settle for mediocrity, Lord. Give me the vocab, show them it's no cap. I pray your revelation that'll tap them like a jab. Make this rap speak volumes, take them to higher places. Take me out my comfort zone and see unfamiliar faces. I keep it on my lip, the word of God is my weapon. I keep it on my hip, he's sticking closer than brothers conjoining at the hip. They asking why I be bound by your religion, but it's more of a relationship. So look what the presence is, heaven sent that I be here. Biblical references is evidence you seek, yeah. Well, a testimony is evident. Heaven's on me. The blessing with heavy, homie. I spread it to every homie that's near.
Hey, Porch Cafe, feeding your mind and your body and your soul.